Shalom, brother and sister truth seekers. So this is just a quick presentation of the data that was collected on the 21st, kind of to wrap up and confirm that everyone was seeing flipped shadows. Not everyone, not as many people did it, which is fine. I mean, it's a number of them all were convinced they saw the flip, but a few people did want to see the flip, and so we're just gonna walk through this data real quick. Other than that, stay tuned because the now that all the data is in, I mean, and there have been I've been doing these video reports at the end of every day, but not everybody gets their data into me on the day that I do the report, and so I mean, I've definitely been getting more data come in, some pretty important witnesses for some of those past days, and some people reconsidering some of their data, and just definitely more to consider. So the plan is to, now that all the data is finally in, tomorrow, or I guess today, I'm going to be later today, and the next 1 to 2 days, I'm going to try to be focusing on laying all this data out on the world map and actually project where the Creators International Dateline was this year. It's might get interesting. I mean, it definitely, things have been going back and forth, and some unexpected things happening. So at the moment, I can't say for certain. I only know for certain that it looks like there was. I mean, well, I have confidence in my data for West Virginia. I know for sure that the straight line was on the 19th, and it looks like there was excellent data collected in Michigan that was showing the same thing. So at least from at least from West Virginia to Michigan, it's definitely looking like the straight line was the 19th. Well, I mean, that's really all I can say for now. I've got to take a closer look at the data, but it's that just gives you an idea of something that I feel is concrete at this point. But again, I'm presenting this data, and even the summary video that I'm about to come out with is just to present the best interpretation, but I certainly hope there's discussion and feedback if people feel strongly one way or another. So I mean, it's just going to be a presentation and best interpretation coming, but not probably not the final opinion. I know there's going to be a pretty big presentation and discussion happening in a day or so. So stay tuned for all of that. Anyway, it'll be coming soon, but just to go through this data real quick. New Zealand, we had Asher and another, so 8.5 hours of data, post-equinox curve, and now, oh, okay, I had a question about this. So this is the morning mark in the AM and the PM, so the east is over here, north is up here. So now we can see these points appear to be curving along the line, the bow. And that was my question. You'll see in actually the next truth seeker from New Zealand. But I don't know what's going on with these points here. They definitely seem to jump, like even in the other data that was collected, it seemed like the points around this time of day were more pronounced than some of those other points. But anyway, yeah, they thought that was a flipped curve at that point. Now this one's worth spending a moment to talk about because I think it has implications. So 9 hours of data for this one. Now I want to discuss the gnomon that was used. Even the gentleman who collected this data thought it was too big, but I want to talk about the ball aspect of what's going on with this gnomon again, because this is a large scale ball, so you can kind of maybe have a better understanding of what I'm about to say, and how it can potentially mess with the data on a smaller scale ball, like the pin or a screw head. Long story short, I think what this data set is going to show us is that it's important. It is really important, I think, to make sure we have a really good point at the top of our nomen. And based on everything I've seen, I think the best one I saw was actually a pencil, like just a pencil that was sharpened. Like there's something about the shape of that pencil, it just seemed to cast the best shadow. Like I saw people using screws and I used screws, and something about the light wrapping through the threads, it just caused it to be ghosted more, bifurcated, like weird things going on. But the pencil was like, it was the best that I saw. Like even in the early morning, it was just a very nice shadow. But anyway, so what's going on here is, let's see, 9 a.m. So this is AM. This is PM. So north is as he's pointing this way. North is up here. This is on the 21st. So I would expect by this point surely that the arc should be flipped. It should be bowing up towards N at this point, but it's not. It's clearly bowing the other way. And I think that has to do with this gnomon. And what's happening is it's such a, can we see it? Yeah, it's such a big thing. But the thing is, when the sun is shining on this side of the gnomon, like there's a different part of the gnomon uh, that is like actually casting the tip. Like there's, and as you move throughout the course of the day, like I'm concerned, like the sun, the shadow that you're seeing is like a shadow being cast off a different surface of, and actually now that I think about it, it was clearer to think about with a screw head, the disc, but with this ball, I think it's not just the fact that you're going around the diameter of this guy and you're getting different shadows at different times of day, but you are also, you're changing elevation of your gnomon too. Like I think the shadow probably for these first points of the day are coming off the top of this thing, but I'll bet that the shadows for midday are probably coming off the side of this thing. So your gnomon that's casting the shadow is, uh, like you're on this side, you're on this side, you're on this side, you're up here, you're down here, and it really, I think it unfortunately has the potential to play with the data, and I think that might be one of the reasons why a lot of people were having trouble interpreting their data, because it was messing with it. Like I said, this is clearly a smiley face curve with north being up here, but it certainly should. Uh, I have never heard of anyone getting a smiley face on the 21st. Like, so in theory, the straight line would be the day after, like that. Yeah, that's too late. Never would happen. So, I mean, unless things are changing, who knows? But, um, it, not historically, and based on what we saw this year, it doesn't, people were seeing, the 365-ish, 366 days between some. But I mean, so anyway, I hope if I could make a suggestion for next time, I would consider doing what you have to do, but make sure your gnomon has a point. Like that's important. Because if we've got something like a screw head or like this ball where your shadow for the different times of day is a different surface of this thing, the side, that side, the top, halfway down the ball, like we're splitting hairs as it is to make our measurements, and like the differences from one day to the next, and from these early morning points, like as we compare to the midday, it's a very tight tolerance. And when you got something this big and you're jumping, your point is a diameter off, like I can certainly see that changing things, and I think this is a good example. So I mean, brother, thank you for submitting this data. Wonderful that you were able to do this, and I mean, I think potentially expose something very important that we need to be paying attention to. Uh, so, anyway, let's go on to Isle of Wight in the UK. 9 hours of data. North is to the right in their photo. So I wasn't sure. Oh, okay. I just wasn't sure what I was seeing here. Um, it all looks like green and black. I don't know if they call out what the idle location zone until the markings. Green might be what was for today. I'm just not sure what to make of this. Doesn't seem the times are corresponding either, but uh I can't say, unfortunately, but it's there to consider. And again, maybe I'll get an answer to clarify what what the individual who collected this data was thinking it was telling them, and we might see it again in the summary video that I'll be doing in the next day or two. Georgia. Let's see. Okay, definitely thought she was seeing post-equinox curve. We're looking for the dark blue Sharpie. 9 hours of data. Okay, dark blue Sharpie. Yeah. So you can, we don't even have to zoom in on that, but you can definitely see this curve. And again, north is out here, so it's definitely bowing towards the north now. Uh, Jess in New York City. She had 9 hours of data. I think the majority of the points were showing a post equinox curve. See if we can see some of those. So you have to. I think she zooms in on it. She got a double shadow like the string, and so it almost looks like the shadow of the string is running through these points, but the shadow's are actually off to the side. And you can see those strings are off here to the right. So let's compare where north is. North is out here to the right, so those points are coming towards north. So I believe that was the post equinox curve for her. Oh, I guess I didn't. Kim is one of those data sets that came in with data from the 19th and the 20th. With just phenomenal data for the 20th. I think it was the best data set I've ever seen, something like 11 hours of data or something, but it was just immaculate. And I believe, actually, this might be a picture of it. It included some marks from the 21st today that she started to collect in red. But yeah, the data from the 20, uh, she was the one I think in Michigan, and her data from the 20th was definitely appearing to show a post equinox curve. And just a phenomenal data set. But anyway, so let's see these red points. She thought it was still a curve. You can see how this red point is close to the line, and as you get closer midday, it's coming away from the line. So it's definitely starting to arch more. And again, if AM is over here, that means the sun is down here for her, so north is over here. So, I mean, we would expect that rainbow shape like this. And yeah, if it's pulling away from the line like that, this one's close, that one's there. It's definitely looking like the post equinox curve. This was Brad post equinox curve in Mississippi. Okay, so again, north is this way, so he's got his line pulled tight to that guy there, and as we go into midday, they're off again, coming towards north, bowing towards north. So he's got a lot of good photos here you can check out. And the last one, Montana. And this was one of the data sets that kind of had mixed results on the 19th and 20th. But I think, what do I say here? Nothing. Oh, post equinox curve. Yeah, I took a screen capture of his data. I dropped I dropped a line over it. And yeah, they're definitely bowing out. I believe his north is over here. Let's see. Where's north? North. North. Yes, it's out there. So yeah, it looks like he wrapped his string around all of these points. So when you do that, you can't. It's hard to see just looking at it what's going on. You really want to remember to pull a string from the first point of the day to the last point of the day without letting it get hung up or draped around these guys. And when you do that, oops, this is what you see here. So I pulled it from the first point to the last point, and I can see there's a gap there to the north. So bone post equinox curve. Okay, so that's the summary for today. I think the majority of people are definitely seeing a flipped curve at this point. So stay tuned. I'm going to next be focusing on taking all this data from the past 3 days, from the 19th. We've done all these people from the 20th, and what we just went over the 21st, and starting to put the best witnesses on a world map to try to piece together where the Creators International Dateline landed this year. So please stay tuned for that, and reach out if you have any questions. And shalom, and may Abba bless you as you continually seek out His truth in love with a pure heart.